Let me get my, hold on, let me get my soda. You know I've been working all day.
Absolutely.
Tired.
How's everybody doing tonight?
Good.
Ready to go home, right?
Already.
Well, just like Coach Freeman said, we shared an interest in coaching. He's a football coach, I'm a basketball coach, and he kind of did the same. He started doing the same thing that I did in Henry County years ago. When I started in Henry County, nobody knew about Henry County basketball. Nobody knew about Henry County basketball teams, and so my goal was to make sure that we put Henry County on the map. And I wasn't just, thinking locally. I was thinking on a national scale as well. And so Coach Freeman came last year at Woodland High, and they kind of doing the same thing that I did with the basketball program. And we're going to talk about that a little bit. They came in, and this year, what did y'all go to the?
Well, Elite 8.
Elite 8?
We lost to KL High School.
Right.
They right down the street.
Right. So we're going to talk about a little bit of that today as well, and then I'm going to talk about the book. I'm going to tell you two stories, one about me and one about my son. And then I'm going to bring them together, to let you find out the reason I wrote the book. But a little bit about me is I'm from the projects in Atlanta, born and raised, and the community that I grew up in, it was a lot of violence, a lot of drugs, a lot of alcohol. And so I fell prey to that culture when I was 10 years old. As a 10-year-old in the project, nobody thought that was something odd or seemed strange, because that's what you did when you lived in the projects like that. And so I started drinking, smoking as a 10-year-old. I remember it clearly. Every Wednesday, my older brother, he would go and they would get, like, it used to be called a dime bag. I think they do ounces and stuff like that now, but back then, you pay $10 and get a bag, and you get, 10 fat ones like that. So that's what we would do every Wednesday, and then they get a big bottle of what we used to call TJ Swan. And all it is it's a poor man's wine, but it'll really get you lit. And so those are the kind of things that we did. Started out being every Wednesday. And as a 10-year-old, when your brain is still developing, it don't take much for you to start getting to the point where you need it. And so this is the environment that I came up out of. Now, I still had dreams and hopes, just like 90% of the students that I have taught over the years, 90% of the students that Coach Freeman teaches. When you ask them what they want to do in the future, they're going to say, I want to play professional basketball, I want to be a professional football player. And, that's just the way it is. And even then, that was my dream and my hope. I wanted to be a professional basketball player. Okay? So, by the time I got in the 12th grade, I was already dependent. I could drink and smoke most grown folk under the table in the 12th grade. Now, I was lucky enough to be able to earn a scholarship because I was just that good playing basketball. And so I earned a scholarship to a little school down in Mississippi, Southwest Mississippi. However, my second year in the program, I got sent home, and mainly because of my drug use. Coach found out I was using drugs, smoking marijuana, and he kicked me off the team. And one of the things that you guys talked about was kind of, something that I fell prey to as well. Because one game, me and a couple of friends decided to, get high before we went to the game. And it just so happened I had like 39 points in that game. And so guess what I did? I associated me being high with the way that I played. And so from that point on, I've never played another game without being high. state dependence, is that something that you guys?
Restriction, your state dependent
Right.
restriction.
Right. And so I fell prey to that. But I did, I went on, I got kicked out of college, and just like any, tough guy from the projects, I made it felt like it didn't bother me. I was like, cool. When he said, Eric, we just gonna send you home, man. I tried to make it seem like it didn't hurt, but it really hurt. Because again, my goals and my dreams was to make it to the NBA. And I knew that it was gonna be impossible for those dreams to happen if I didn't even finish, if I didn't even do it in college. And so I tried and tried to get in other schools, but it was just too impossible. Once you get that label, that you're uncoachable, no other college coaches want to, put a hand in that. Because, again, these college coaches get paid a lot of money. And they get paid a lot of money to win. And so they didn't want to take a chance on me. And I found myself being in the Navy. Somebody, a family friend talked to me, and he said, Eric, what you need to do is you need to try to stay clean for 2 weeks. And I did. I stayed clean for 2 weeks just so I can pass the drug test and get in the Navy. And it was in the Navy that I experienced a life-changing moment. One night, some friends and I, these guys were, when you're in the Navy, guys come from everywhere. These guys, my running partners were from New York, from Boston, and Jersey. And so we were in the car one night. This was a Saturday night at about 11:30 at nighttime. And so we're riding around, getting high, having fun. And all of a sudden, one of the people in the group said, hey, let's drive to Atlanta. Okay, we were in Norfolk, Virginia, so that's a 10-hour drive all the way to Atlanta. But back in those days, Atlanta was still a hotbed. Everybody was still calling it Hotlanta, so they wanted to come and experience Atlanta. And the reason it was such a crazy notion is because, again, it's 11:30 at night on Saturday. So basically what we were going to do is drive to Atlanta and then turn around and come back because we have to be to work on Monday morning. And so that's what drugs do to your brain. That frontal lobe. It messes up that area where you have to make decisions, where you reason. And so we weren't able to reason because we were so high. And we started on this journey, 10 hours to Atlanta. Now, as we proceeded on this journey, I guess about 2 hours down the road, the driver went to sleep. The other 2 guys in the back were asleep. And I was just hanging on by a thin thread. But I was conscious enough to know that this guy was asleep at the wheel. And so I started him because I basically say, hey man, wake up.